Hello, Donna. Welcome to my channel. Looking at the shiny face. All right, part two. Hopefully, my phone lets me spit it out real quick. So, I want to finish my thought for you on this addiction cycle of abusive relationships, and it's linked to anhedonia. So, the abusive relationship, it's always intensity. So even if after a while there's no more of the love bombing, only the little breadcrumbs. First of all, paired association makes us link the little breadcrumb with that love bombing period, so you're like, get those hopes up, but it's intensity seeking. So, and it's unconscious, we're not doing it on purpose. We're going through these neurochemical processes that create behavior until we have awareness and we can work on it. So, any addiction is intensity. It's those highs and lows. They get the really high dopamine drives from the outside chemicals. Same with the abusive relationship, even if it's a negative intensity, it's the intensity. So the brain will naturally seek homeostasis, which is balance. So if you have a really negative experience, and like I said, the love bombing will create like some of that magical thinking, but it's even neurochemicals that will do the paired association with the love bombing and make the gesture of bare minimum like some really amazing soulmate behavior. But also, even like I've noticed when I was in the throes of an abusive relationship, like kind of the beautiful thing about it is you see the beauty in everything. That is the brain seeking the balance, the homeostasis, the balance between the intensity of the pain and the reward system and joy. So pain and joy. So you have these intense feelings of pain in abusive relationships. And so then the brain naturally seeks the homeostasis. So, like I've cried at sunsets, that is my reward system, being so highly activated. Again, like these phones, they activate the dopamine system. We are becoming dopamine junkies, we are. And it's neuroscience. So what is anhedonia, that lack of pleasure? It is when you turn off those heightened intensity seeking dopamine receptors and you cut them off of their supply, which can be social media. It can be, any kind of intensity reward seeking, or just, I shouldn't even say intensity, because it doesn't have to be intense when it's constant, like with social media and that, and all that TikTok stuff people watch, and that it's messing with the reward systems. So if it's just conditioning, constant dopamine hits all the time. So like, think of it as a junkie. Either the junkie's doing, one big hit of whatever drug it is, or they're constantly using a little bit all the time. They're, it's hitting that reward center, that dopamine, causing depression in people, because then the brain again needs the homeostasis. It needs the balance, the dopamine and then the balance. So anhedonia is like, if we could tell people when they're going through withdrawals or addiction recovery, like, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel like, holy crap. You're going to have no desire to do anything, and that's anhedonia. It's awful. So remember that when you're making excuses for your abusive partner, that they are just creating such a horrible, messed up neurological chemical imbalance inside of you. So so anyway, sorry, I got a little heightened there. Just very passionate about people not staying in unhealthy relationships. So if we could let people know there's a cycle, like you are going to feel awful, because people think, I felt elated when I first got out of the relationship, but then after a while you like start to crash. And I think that's when you reflect and you're outside of it and all of that. But I think some of it is the anhedonia, it's the system resetting. You're used to intensity, and when it resets, the anhedonia comes in. So if you can just know, like, that awful feeling, and it's awful. That's when people like, start, I don't want to talk about, triggering topics, but not wanting to be alive, you know? So you got to be really careful during anhedonia too. But if you know what it is and you can seek help and you can know it's just a process of the brain coming down off of those dopamine highs, you know, and it's just resetting so that you can start getting joy again from life, you know, where you can start feeling joy from things, you know, and not, you know, seeking intensity, and you can just live happy, joyous existence, you know, where you can, you know, have that ability to feel pleasure, where you can eat a normal amount and it feels good, and where you feel driven to work and you feel driven to connect to people, and you have a drive inside of you, but not a over hyper intensity seeking drive that is, you know, unquenchable like addiction is, you know, and addictive relationships mirror addiction. You can look it up. Just Google it. Do addictive relationships mirror addiction? Absolutely. They affect the reward system in the same exact way. I mean, think about it. Just like food is linked to the reward system, so are relationships. It's so we procreate. It's so we protect ourselves. It's for our survival of our species. We have this desire to connect, you know, it affects our reward system, but when it gets, you know, hijacked and off balance, you know, it becomes this neurochemical, you know, imbalance. So anhedonia. So try to reframe the way you look at it. You know, it's something good. It's letting you know that, oh, I'm coming down off of a dopamine high. I am starting to create a new healthier baseline. So I'm not living up here, you know, craving all this crazy dopamine, and where I'm living here in a more peaceful existence, you know, a more, you know, baseline level, because it's that whatever must go up must come down. So then that's where you're experiencing life like that, because you're having all those dopamine spikes. So instead, when you get a new baseline, you can live life like this, you know, or even some big joys, but, you know, not crazy dopamine driven, you know. So, so how to overcome anhedonia? One, knowing that you got it, you know, knowing what it is and knowing that it's actually a good thing, even though it feels awful. It feels awful, and not shaming yourself and guilting yourself during it. Like, what's wrong with me? Well, your reward system isn't activated. So, you know, you're not seeking normal things in life, because you know, that's what abuse does to you. Just again, think about this when you want to make all these excuses for someone that you just love, which really you're just attracted to, and it's that's even a whole nother topic. But so, you know, one, having awareness that, you know, and reaching out to people. If you start feeling really, really low during anhedonia, please reach out to people and just know that you will overcome it. And then what pulls us out of anhedonia? What healthy things raise our dopamine levels? Physical activity is a really good way to raise our dopamine levels without, you know, doing something unhealthy. It's good for us. You know, it has really good rewards and consequences. Try to socialize. Gratitude is so great, and it's so hard to tell someone to have gratitude when they can't feel pleasure, you know. Just search, you know, just search for it, you know, just search for the little things that you're grateful for, you know. Reach out to safe community, people that are safe, you know. We connect and we mirror and we feed off of each other's nervous system. So being around loving people, you know, look for a recovery group, or, you know, people that are, you know, like seeking good things, you know, and surround yourself with them. And, you know, you'll just naturally start mirroring, you know. It's natural to mirror. That's what we do as human beings. We mirror each other, you know. So if you're around, you know, negativity, you're going to feel negative. So, you know, try to surround yourself with more hopeful, positive people.